Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'm going to show you what I do to prevent my cakes from creating that dreaded bulge around where both of the layers meet. Sometimes if you've noticed, when a cake settles the next morning or as the day goes by, it'll start forming a ring around the center. And I mean, you know, I'm not saying it makes for an ugly cake, but it does. It makes for an ugly cake, let's be honest. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how to prevent that bulge around the layers of your cakes. I did struggle with that for a long time. I have been baking for maybe about 7 or 8 years and professionally for about 2. And when I began professionally, that was one of my struggles. I would go to sleep at night and just the whole night I would have nightmares of waking up to an ugly cake with a bulge around it. And a lot of mornings I would wake up to have to fix the bulge. I would have to pull fondant off and restart my cake, reapply buttercream. I did have buttercream cakes that were perfect the night before, and then when I woke up in the morning had like those little, I don't even know what they're called, buttercream explosion bubbles, I don't know, but where the buttercream just has like a little, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the video, and I am going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to try a voiceover to see if I can explain this to you better, and just kind of touch the points that I think are really important when trying this technique. And by all means, this technique is not new. It's not something that I'm claiming as my own, but it's something that I discovered that works for me, and I hope that it works for a lot of you out there. And it has made my life a lot easier. A lot of people might say that it's too expensive and it's more work, but to be honest with you, there really is no right way to make a cake. There's no right way to decorate it. You really have to find what works for you. Find the tools that work for you. You don't always have to buy or have everything that you see on the YouTube videos, and I will make a video about that because I have a gazillion gadgets and things that I don't use. But anyway, we're going on a rant. Let me just get to the video. To start off, the one thing I do recommend is that you do invest in a good turntable, one that is very easy to turn and that glides really good. It'll help you make for a smoother cake. The second thing that we have here is I'm placing a Ruth Ricky non-slip mat, and this will just help our board to not slide around while we're decorating. Next, we're gonna place our board and just make sure that it's centered on there on your turntable. And for this part, some people use buttercream. I like to use ganache, but feel free to use buttercream if that's the only thing you have. Next, we're gonna take our first layer of cake and we're gonna make sure that it's centered. Feel free to use a ruler if you're very precise about where the center is, but I just like to eyeball things, so just give it a few turnarounds. Make sure that it's the same distance from the board to the middle, and once you're sure that it's in the middle, you're going to pat it down to secure it to that ganache. Add more frosting in case you need to even out any of your cake layers. we're going to place a cardboard circle in the center there. And I used one that has a hole. If yours doesn't have a hole, you can make the hole before placing it, and just make sure you place it right in the center. It's really important, and you'll see why towards the end. And now I'm going to place some ganache like we did in the beginning to secure our next layer of cake. And to even out the edges, just add some frosting around there to make sure that there's no air pockets or anything trapped in the middle there. Here I'm using an ice cream scoop for better measurement of frosting. This technique helps you to achieve a more even look throughout your cake. Now you can start to add your ganache. I like to start at the top. Now take an extra board and pop the little hole out of the center. And for this part, you're going to make sure that you place that board right in the center of the cake. Once you have the centered measured, you're going to take a milkshake straw. And that's going to be your guide for that first cardboard that we have right down in the center, and it should write down all the way smoothly.